I just figured I would just gave them away.
It's all good.
They want to get rid of them. Sad.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome everyone to the East Dubuque City Council meeting. It is Monday, September 16th. I ask that you please turn your cell phones off during the meeting and please be quiet during discussions. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. (24-0911) call to order.
Belkin.
Here.
Bergmeyer.
Here.
Dagenhart.
Here.
Mayor Digman.
Here.
Fleur.
Here.
Meyer.
Here.
Roby.
Here.
Attorney Hess.
Here.
24-0912 staff reports. City manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. Most of my report will be in the agenda again today because we've got a lot of things coming up. But I would just remind folks of the financial review that we did at the last meeting because it'll have meaning tonight. The bottom lines are that cash on hand for the city is about $2.3 million. Mine is $2 million when you get above the donations, and we're running about double the rate of that I expected on amount of revenue above expenditures. So we anticipated finishing the year in operations with $413,000. At 25% of the way through the year, we were 51% of the way toward that goal. And enterprise side is a little iffier, and that has to do with a lot of water main breaks. But we are still projected to be about $18,000 over the anticipated amount at that point. So I just kind of lay those out because that's kind of the groundwork for a lot of the discussion tonight. We can go back to it as we need to. Thank you.
Thank you. Mayor's report. So last week I had the opportunity, I took our copies of our facade program and went door to door down here, delivered them to the local businesses. I still have some other ones that I need to hit, but I just wanted to get the word out there because once that was approved, I mean, that's kind of where it ended, unless it was word of mouth from people here, stuff like that. So last Wednesday I went around and made the rounds. And there were some places that were very receptive to it, so hopefully we can get some action on that. Also last week, I had called Dittmer Recycling and talked to them about the recycled bins. Jean had reached out to me. She was having some complaints, and I took some complaints a few weeks ago that, we discussed. And when we discussed it a couple weeks ago, it was determined that garbage can be bagged, but recycling materials can't be bagged because they need to be able to sort them out. So when I talked to Dittmer, I just asked that, hey, let's try to be a little more cautious and slow down a little bit, because there was a trail of stuff, going up the hill. I went down, yeah, and it was all recyclable material. So I did reach out to Dittmer and ask them to talk to their drivers. She said that they would take care of that. And then finally, just a reminder that the election petition papers are available. We have wards 1, 2, and 3 seats coming up available. The papers can be taken out now. They're due. They're due back from 8 a.m. on November 12th to 4 p.m. on November 18th. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in running for council, you can come get your papers. That's all I have. Alderperson report, Belkin.
I have nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Bergmeyer.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Degenhardt.
Nothing, Mayor.
Thank you. Fluer.
Yeah, I was approached over the weekend by a camper. They were saying that they can't get a sticker for their ATV here in East Dubuque. You got to be a resident here in East Dubuque.
No. Nope, not the case.
Unless,
You have to meet the requirements in the code,
okay.
but no, you don't have to be a resident.
Really? Okay.
You have to have a driver's license of Illinois or another state.
Have to have insurance too, right?
And insurance, yep.
All right.
Then they have to set up an appointment to come down and have it inspected as well.
Okay. Maybe he was misunderstood or something.
Okay.
I think there's only, to my knowledge, there's only been one who didn't get their permit that came down, and that individual just didn't have the proper taillights. And we suggested a couple options to get taillights, and he went off saying he's going to get them and bring them back. So other than that, I don't think we've said no to anybody.
Huh. Okay.
We've issued 16
All right.
permits.
I thought that was kind of weird if that was the case, but yeah. Okay, that's all I had.
Thank you. Meyer.
I don't have anything tonight.
Thank you. Roby.
That's how many permits we issued for the UTV golf cart, is just 16?
16. Mhm.
I thought it was more than that. Okay, that's all I have.
All right. Thank you. City Attorney Hess.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Chief Kavasik. Thank you. Public Works, Tony? No. Thank you. Chief Heim? Nothing at this time. Thank you. 24-0913, speakers from the floor. We have none noted. 24-0914, consent agenda.
Still moved.
Roll call.
Degenhardt.
Aye.
Fleur.
All right.
Meyer.
Aye.
Roby.
Aye.
Belkin.
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
Old business, 24-0907, discussion and possible action to approve estimates from Bonnet Property Managers or Clay's Property Services LLC for city playgrounds in the city of East Dubuque.
Okay, so there is no action that has to be taken tonight on this because the motion that the council passed last time, if you recall, was 2 of the playgrounds went to Clay, two went to Bonnet, and there was a addition to the motion that we should add the rubberized pellets instead of the wood chips. And so we went ahead with that. The reason I brought it back is that the price of the rubber pellets was, I think, more than probably the council members anticipated. My recommendation is still the same, that we should go ahead and do it. And I will say, one of the reasons is, if you think like an accountant, and I hope our CPA isn't listening to me, so the deficit that we're trying to overcome in the city of the $1 million, most of it is in TIF, but it's also in a number of other places. One of those places is the playgrounds. So every year the city takes in, it was about 18, now it's about $20,000 to maintain the playgrounds in the city. For the last 6, 8, however many years, nothing has been spent on those playgrounds. This is separate from Gramercy, which is the park money. So because nothing was spent and property taxes were collected, that money was spent someplace else, which means that that fund was in deficit by around $120,000. So that means that what we spend on the playgrounds does reduce the deficit. So just like when we talked about spending on TIF, when you spend $1 on TIF, the deficit is reduced by $1. Same thing with playgrounds. So for that reason, and because it's the solution that I think makes the most sense, so we don't have to go back there every year and spend money on it, I would think we should still go ahead with this, but I did want to just run through the numbers. So the mulch, which was going to be about $1,600 per playground on average, is going to be, the bid was about $46,000. And we just heard tonight, because we brought it back to the council, that we delayed purchasing it long enough that they cut the price 10%. So, way to go, Tony. So the total cost of the project. So we went back to the contractors and allowed them to submit another bid because they have to put fabric down and things. It's not much of a difference, but it's a small difference. So the total cost of the project goes from, with the wood chips was around $25,000. Now it's about $67,000. But you will have a relatively permanent solution to the chip issue. So anyway, if there's questions, we can answer them, or Tony can answer them. If anybody would like to propose any change, then they could do that. If you'd like to propose a color for the rubber, you can do that too. I think we've got red, white, blue, or red, blue, black, and brown. So if you don't want to leave that decision to Tony, then suggest a color. But otherwise, we can.
I have one
move on.
question, Bob. I see on all the quotes from IMC that they have freight on all of them.
Yep. So what we're doing is, instead of having each of them buy the chips for their own for the parks they're doing, the city is going to buy all of them, and that will allow us to fill up the trucks and reduce the number of semis that it takes to get them up.
Okay.
And so, so we'll be getting them all together. It'll be going down to Public Works, and then they'll be distributing them out to the parks.
Okay.
What colors do we have a choice of?
Excuse me? Color? Blue, brown, red, and black.
Doesn't black get hotter, Tony?
He claims it doesn't get.
It doesn't? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's been up at the park for quite a while. I mean,
Yep.
What color do you want? Blue?
Blue.
Blue? Blue? Okay, let's go with blue.
okay.
All right.
So I make a motion, we go ahead with that.
We don't need a motion to go ahead because we already passed it. But if you're good with that, and I think we can just take the recommendation for blue.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
New business, 24-0915, discussion and possible action to approve purchase of rescue pumper from Brindley Mountain Fire Apparatus in the city of East Dubuque.
Okay. On this one, before I turn it over to the chief, I want to kind of take us back through the process on purchasing these trucks. The voters passed a referendum which allowed bonding of up to $1.5 million to purchase 2 trucks. When the fire department put them out for pre-bid, the number came in substantially higher than that. So I think we were in the $1.8 to $2 million range, if I'm recalling correctly. And over $2 million. So we were at $2 million, call it $2 million, $1.5 million approved by the voters for bonding. The bonding on that would have been over $9,000 per month for 20 years, or $108,000 per year for 20 years. It would have been $662,000 in interest and over $2.1 million in total payments just for the 1.5, and that still would have left us $600,000 or $600,000 short of purchasing the 2 new trucks. Because of the bond that was approved, that would have gone on the property tax rolls for the city, which would have amounted to about a 25% increase in the city's portion of the property tax. That's, by my numbers, on a $100,000 home, that would be around $120 increase in property taxes for the bond. The reason I go through all this is that this is a place where the mayor and myself, the chief, and the volunteer fire department put our heads together, and I think really came up with some good solutions. So the first thing was the department found a truck for the first truck that was a model used for demonstration, and we got that for $650,000. Then we decided, so the best way to do fire apparatus, because they've got such a long life, is to have them spaced out. They've got a minimum of probably a 25-year life, and so you need to have one for insurance rate purposes. You need to have one that is reasonably new, and so if you're going to have 2, you're best off spacing them apart in the neighborhood of 12 to 14-ish years. And what you can do then is, if you can do that without having to borrow too much, then you can put money aside as you move forward, which we intended to propose in the next budget. And then when you have to buy one every 12 years or so, you have most of the money to be able to buy it. And so that's the goal that we had going into this. So the first truck, $650,000. The second truck, and this took a lot of research, a lot of searching, but the department managed to find a 2011 truck that met the needs of the department, and I think the chief said actually met the needs better than, and you'll go into the details, but met the needs better than some of the new trucks that they would see. So the truck itself, with all the new tires and refurbishing and painting and decaling and everything else, was $375,000. There's another up to, say, $50,000 that might be spent on redoing it for the way we do business here in East Dubuque. So the whole second truck comes in the neighborhood of $425,000. That means that we're doing the 2 trucks for just over $1 million. The way we financed that, instead of $1.5 million in bonding and $120 increase in property taxes for each for a home per home, and actually it's more than that, because $100,000 doesn't get you too much of a home anymore. Instead of going that route, we have the department, and this is all the department, got a 20-year loan of $350,000 at 0 interest. So that's about $1,450 per month. For the other $300,000 of the first truck, we took out just a 3-year loan. So we're paying that off in about the shortest amount of time most people pay off a new car. And this we're doing for a truck that should last us for, 12, 15 years. The second, or I'm sorry, a truck that should last us 25 years than the first truck. The second truck, we anticipate being able to purchase for cash. We have to put 25% down now, which we're in a good position to do, and the truck will not be ready until spring, potentially about the time of the new budget. But, if good Lord willing and the river don't rise, we should be in a good position to pay off the rest of that truck in the spring. So this gives us the ability to rotate trucks. It also gives us the ability to, instead of paying off and paying $600,000-$700,000 in interest, it gives us the opportunity to be able to think ahead and be ready to purchase the next truck as it comes up. And so I want to give all the credit in the world to Chief Heim and to the fire department. It's hard when you have in your mind that you're going to get all shiny new, and it's hard to come around to a point where you do what's best for the community, number one, and number two, you do what's best in the long term for the department. And I honestly believe that being able to do this rotation for the trucks is the best thing for the department in the long run and for the city in the long run. And so, but it has been a partnership, and I'm just really, really impressed by the way the chief and the department have worked with us all together on making this thing happen this way. And there will be no tax increase to purchase these trucks. Their only long-term debt will be roughly a third of the total cost, and that will be zero interest. So everything else is going to be paid for within 3 years. So that, if I didn't steal too much, and it's a really ugly color. Chief, you want to add anything?
We sat down and talked, and we did our research on a lot of different places, and this one came up. It happened to be on lease to Great Lakes Naval Station, so we were able to go up and look at it and go over it. There is some, like everything, there is some work to be done to it because it is a 2011. But talking to other places with the motor that's in it, and I think, I haven't heard anything from you, Ben, but I think that motor is pretty solid from what I've heard from people. And the transmission, it's only got 55,000 miles on it, which is very little for that diesel motor. Like city manager said, the place we're getting it from is Brindley Mountain. They're located in Alabama. They have an agreement with a whole list of stuff to do to it that they would do for $375,000, and that included, when I talked to them, I wanted pricing on new tires, and they actually were throwing the tires in, so that's like $10,000 or close to $10,000 for that price. So then there's the upgrades that we need to do to make it fit for us, which roughly come in at $30,000. That's on another sheet. There's some of that stuff in there is may happen, may not happen. They have to see the truck and talk to Pierce Manufacturing to make sure that they can do it. So that's kind of the one price of it for the winch is kind of a guesstimate there because they don't know until they see the truck itself. The other thing is buying brackets, equipment, some hose for it. Roughly is about $15,000, and then Brindley will pay for our travel to do the final inspection on it. But being it's a used one, we think that it would be beneficial for us to go down midpoint when they get stripped down to look at it and make sure that there's nothing hidden in there that we don't know about. To look at it and go down and look at that. And I don't necessarily think that's going to cost that much for two people to go down, but I don't know what flights are and things like that. So that's how we came up with the $424,000. The
The other part to this truck is this is actually pretty close to the rescue bumper that we spec. Minus, there's like maybe 2 or 3 things on it that aren't on it that we actually we were looking to put on ours. So, that's roughly 3/4 of the price of a new one. So, if you have any questions for me?
Is this replacing another truck in the
It's gonna
fleet?
It's gonna replace, 1996 and 1991.
Sounds like a win-win here.
Well, we're moving up 15 years, model-wise.
We'll go from, paying, well, 9,000 plus whatever the other $500,000 is, to $1,400-1,500 a month, on the zero interest.
This will help us get on into a rotation where we're not bringing, where when one comes due, I mean, we got another 96 that's gonna come due here and, sometime in the near future. But it's still gonna do well for us right now, but it'll at least spread that out to where now instead of having 2, that are a year apart or 2 years apart, we have a gap to where we can plan that.
Well, I think the great work here is also in the financing, where that referendum that went through where we were gonna have to hit people's property taxes to pay for 2 new trucks is not gonna get used, so we're not putting the burden on the residents. So that's great work.
Yeah, if we did lots of luck on getting another referendum passed. I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call?
Fleur,
Aye.
Meyer.
Aye.
Roby,
Aye.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart.
Good job, Joe.
Go get her, Joe.
24-0916, discussion and possible action to approve resolution authorizing execution for the sale of surplus municipal property in the city of East Dubuque.
So this is primarily the apparatus that we're replacing, which will be replaced as we bring the new vehicle online, and various other equipment that the department has that they're replacing right now. And so this is just the vote that we have to take to start that process. As we go forward, we will have other equipment from Public Works that we will try to move out. And so some of this is, we will get something for this stuff. The rest of it is, we will clear out our area, be able to have some space.
Make a motion.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Meyer.
Aye.
Roby,
Aye.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart. Fleur.
Aye.
Thank you, Chief. 24-0917, discussion and possible action to approve estimate option 1, option 2, or option 3 from Geesey Roofing for the 193 Cincinnati Avenue police/fire station roof in the city of East Dubuque.
Okay, so actually, if we probably should have taken these in the opposite direction, I guess, opposite order, but this is the roofing for the police department roof. And in case anyone, so I guess I've got pictures here. If people want to see them, I can put them up. But I think it's pretty well known that the roof over at that building is shot and needs to be replaced. So what we've done is we've been working with 2 roofing companies, 2 companies that would do tuck pointing and masonry. In the end, we have 1 company on the roofing side and 1 on the masonry side that can get this project done before snow flies. And of course, it's critical that we get this done before snow flies because we don't need any more deterioration in that building than it's already suffered. So this is, I guess, the easier one. I would recommend option 3. It's the option that has the 30-year warranty. The cost differential is $4,300 for an extra 5-year type of warranty, which it's basically a third thicker membrane for the $4,000.
Actually, option 3 should be a no-brainer. For less than 10,000, less than option 1, we get 10 more years.
So
So I make a motion, we
I-
go with option 3.
I have a question. So we're deciding on this and we're deciding on the tuck pointing. Say the tuck pointing, I think they said like October 10th when they could get done. Does the temperature make a difference on when this roof is laid?
it doesn't no.
No?
Short answer is no. Except for you need to have it done and have a roof on before it freezes because you don't want to get expansion and contraction of the building.
I just didn't know if it had to be like
So in terms of
above
doing the
70
work-
or,
in terms of doing the work, no.
Temperature range.
Did we have any preliminary numbers on this before we started this project?
You talking like the overall,
Engineer
the
estimates.
So on the roof, I will say that the cost of the roofing is more than the guesstimate of the architect.
Usually.
The cost of the tuck pointing was actually pretty close to what his guesstimate was.
are you talking individual? Are you talking like an all-in type,
Like an all-in type?
an all-in, like if there's any preliminary costs?
No.
I still made a motion to go with 3.
All right, roll call.
Roby,
aye.
Belkin,
Aye.
Burgmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart. Aye. Fleur.
Aye.
And Meyer.
Aye.
24-0918. Discussion and possible action to approve estimate from Fred Jackson tuck pointing for the 193 Cincino Avenue Police/Fire Station parapet restoration in the city of East Dubuque.
So on this, this is the, so in order to do the roof, we have to restore the parapet around it so that we have something to anchor the roof to. So if you picture the roof will come and go up the sides of the roof. And I'm not an engineer, but it will come and go up the sides of the roof and be anchored there. Currently, there's nothing really strong enough to anchor it to the way that the roof is. So what's being proposed is the best compromise between cost and visual effect and long-term quality of the roof is, if you look at the, if you look at the green line, so what they're gonna do is level the roof all the way around. And in some places that means taking off some courses of bricks. In some cases it means taking off some courses of bricks and rebuilding them. But then they will pour a concrete cap all the way around, which structurally will be the best solution there. So what you're gonna lose potentially visually is the line will be this green line. And essentially this, you'll lose some of this decorative sloping. The cost would be significant of maintaining all of that. And the quality of the roof itself would not be as great. So the recommendation from the architects and the structural engineer and the company itself was that. So these are some pictures around the roof. This is a tin structure that will come off and be stored. It needs to have basically bolts or protrusions coming through the plate on the back to be able to hold that in place. So this will be repaired, and then after the outside of the building is tuck pointed, these can go back on. But as they're doing the parapet work, they'll be prepared to be able to put those back up. So here you just have the same thing, leveling, the green line leveling it. This is that area down below where they've pulled out the bricks to figure out what's in there. What's in there is wood, and that'll be replaced with steel, and that'll go through and to the front part. The big part up front, the big part of the parapet facing Sinsinawa, that will remain where it is, and that'll be re-tuck pointed, and the roof level will come up here, and then it'll come across here. So that'll be part of it being leveled all the way around. But you'll still have the visual effect of that. And so that's the gist of it. And the briefcase will be gone.
Well, it needs to be done.
Is the police station where we have our cable antenna or our satellite antenna for Public Works?
Yes.
Have we decided where we're putting that so we don't disrupt?
So we will, we are looking into when fiber might be stretched down that way. We generally don't get lucky enough for things like that to happen for us.
I'm working on that.
But we're, if that doesn't happen, we have already taken down the electrical. There was electrical lines going up there. I think for the siren when it was up there, and there's some antennas up there that aren't used, and so those will be removed. The chimney, the brick chimney up on the roof will be removed, and so that's one more potential leak location that'll be covered up. But so they'll just have to work around. They'll have to take it down to work on that spot, but so we may have to figure out a workaround for a short period of time. But if they have to take it down to do that spot, then it'll go back up right away. It's mounted on the parapet, I believe. So.
I want to circle back to Ben's question from before, because I think maybe it was misunderstood. So when you were asking like a rough price, you're talking about like, you know what I mean? Like the all in.
My question?
No, Ben's.
Oh, Ben.
Ben asked the question about like a rough price of the all in, and he was, I believe you were talking about the whole project and all. Like, what are we looking at big picture wise?
Yep. So the overall project, which would be connecting the current fire station to this building, restoring this building, putting it in service for the police department, the fire department, and public use with a major-sized public room. We're probably talking in the $3 to $3.5 million cost. That compares pretty favorably to the $10+ million cost of two separate buildings that was being thought of a year ago. And in addition to a third the cost of that, we're also maintaining a building that I think is a cornerstone of the city, really. And that allowed us to put the lots that we're going to hold the fire station and the police station up for sale. And just on Friday, I signed a building permit for one of those lots to get a $2 million investment. And we just spoke with the developer of the other lot, and he expects that within the next couple weeks, we're going to see his plans come in for approval for another major investment. So those will be both investment in the community and tax revenue instead of another government building that draws revenue down.
So, yeah, this whole project was a huge win for the city.
And we're down to a level, we will have to potentially bond for this, but this bonding can be with the revenues, with an existing city revenue stream. So we don't have to, with where we sit financially right now, we're in a good position to be able to absorb that revenue stream without raising taxes at all, to be able to do this building. So, because we'll do an alternative bonding method, so.
Good deal.
That's good. Well, I motion to approve the Tuck Point work.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Belkin,
Aye.
Burgmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart,
Aye.
Fleur,
Aye.
Meyer. Roby.
Aye.
Twenty-four 0919, discussion and possible action of Oxford Street, IEPA, Indian Hills Sewer Extension, and IEPA lead service line replacement programs in the city of East Dubuque.
So the lead service lines is the easiest part of it. We're just at the point of completing that project, and so we're in good position there. Oxford is a project that goes back to long before I ever darkened your doorstep. And when I talk to people on Oxford Street, there is some disbelief as to whether we're ever going to do their project. Oxford, I think, in the city stands out as the greatest, single example of a bad road, a bad sewer, a bad storm sewer, and a bad water main. And so the project, as you know, has been approved by this council. And but the first go around, the funding was going to be there from the state for a low interest loan for the water portion of the project, but not the sewer. And this time around, there's funding for the sewer portion of the project, but not the water. So we didn't quite meet the competitive portion for the water project. What that means for us is that it's going to cost us more because the water portion of this project is more expensive than the sewer portion. My recommendation is that we go ahead, both because our cash position will be sufficient and because the potential is that even if we held off for another year, we could miss out on both, or we could miss out on the sewer and get the water, or any combination thereof. So this would be, if you look at the third page of this is all Oxford. So we would be taking on the $596,000 for the water and the $95,000, which includes the paving and the stormwater. And so there's pretty good stormwater changes there too. I'm also, so we are, if we do this now, we can go to bid, have the bid process done by December, January, and be ready for the start of the construction season. And our options at that point would be to go with, just whatever somebody wanted to do during the construction season. But we think we're going to try to put an end date on it because, frankly, these folks have waited a long time, and every time they get either a water main break or a storm event, they get significant amounts of water and mud in their basements. So it's a significant amount of money to take on, but we are in position to be able to do this now, and we should be in a better position to be able to take it on come spring. And so these are the kinds of things that, I think, Ben, we were talking just recently about infrastructure and focusing on infrastructure. Well, so we're talking about, almost $700,000 of infrastructure investment from cash. This would be money going from operations side to the enterprise side, but extreme. We're in an extreme situation with our infrastructure in this city.
Any other questions?
Second.
Roll call.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart. Fleur,
Aye.
Meyer. Roby,
Aye.
and Belkin.
Aye.
All right, 24-0920, executive session for personnel matters. We're going to go into a short executive session. Roll call. Motion.
Still motion.
Roll call.
Make a motion, we'll go into executive session.
We already have the motion and the second.
Second, let's go.
Dagenhart. Fleur, Meyer.
Aye.
Roby,
Aye.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer.
Aye.
gotta figure something out. Or wear that.
24-0921, discussion and possible action to approve an ordinance to offer merit awards to recognize the commitment of East Dubuque police officers.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Meyer,
Aye.
Roby,
Aye.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart,
Aye.
Fleur.
24-0922, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call?
Roby,
Aye.
Belkin,
Aye.
Bergmeyer,
Aye.
Dagenhart, Fleur, and Meyer.
We are adjourned.